Hi kids! I have not posted a video in a while on fun things to do, and unfortunately this video is not about fun things to do, it's about what to avoid. So, gick. Okay, first of all, avoid Disney at all costs. Avoid Disney at all costs. It's not worth the money. It's an act of frustration. They are rude. I have never been treated so poorly by cast members in my entire life. I mean, I've been coming to Disney since 1970, 1969, something like that. So my family would come to Disney every year without fail for 50 years. I've been coming to Disney, okay? So, and I brought my nieces, I've brought my great nieces, nephews, great nephews, I have never been so angry and so disappointed and so hurt, betrayed, by Disney ever. So let me just tell you why. So we got to Disney Monday night and we went and had dinner at Trader Sam's. While we were there, we ran into a cast member. John was wearing a Knott's Berry Farm sweatshirt, because he was cold. So we bought one when we were over there earlier. And the cast member was like, "Oh, I like Knott's so much better. You're going to have a better time at Knott's." I'm sorry. Never has cast member morale been so low that they tell you to go to a competitor's theme park. What the... Really, Disney? What are you doing? You're obviously ticking off your workers so badly that they're telling guests to go to Knott's Berry Farm. Okay, that's unheard of. Seriously. It's like Disney has always been about company loyalty, company brand. We are the safe amusement park. We are the family amusement park. And let me tell you why I don't trust them anymore and why this is getting worse. Okay. So that happened. Okay. So we're at Trader Sam's. You have to have a reservation. So basically, in order to sit down and have a sit-down meal, you have to have a reservation. You also have to have reservations for the park. And apparently what they do is they oversell, and it's confusing, and people don't understand how to make the reservations for each individual park every day. You have to tell them every day what park you're going to start off in, which I think is ridiculous. So, I mean, we do it. It's because I've been going forever. So, but anyway, the point being, so they oversell the tickets, obviously. There's too many people at the park, and there's people that don't get in because they don't understand the reservation system, because it's not clear. It's clear as mud. The Disney app is a disaster. It's not user-friendly. It's hard to navigate. I'm not particularly tech savvy. You guys know that. I tell you that all the time. But it's like, come on, make it easy. Life is hard enough with idiots killing children without having, I'm talking about the school shooting in Texas because that happened when we were here too. So it's like, yay. Okay, so we're at Trader Sam's. We have a reservation. We get in. They shove us into this tiny little table, high top, in the corner, and you can't see anything. So there's apparently special effects that go on when people order certain drinks and things like that. Well, we could see the Krakatoa one. We couldn't see any of the other ones. And I'm sitting here going, this is not worth it. There was one waiter. The poor guy was running around. He looked miserable. Nobody working there looked happy. Nobody. That's not Disney. Disney, the cast members are usually happy, and they're happy to see you, and they're happy to talk, and they're happy to interact. This time, none of that. None of that. And you're spending a ridiculous amount of money to go there to be growled at? No, not a good thing. Or told to go to a different amusement park. Like, oh, yeah, you should be going to Knott's. So there was one waiter running his ass off. That was it. And by the time we got our food, it was cold. So, I'm thinking, this is not a good sign. So the next day, which was the 24th, May 24th, because I want to make it clear so people can verify all of this. We go to the park, we go to Disneyland Park, and right off the bat, all 4 major rides are down. Okay. Haunted Mansion, Indiana Jones, Hyperspace Mansion, or Hyperspace Mountain, and Big Thunder Mountain. Okay. The park is packed. It took hours for them to get everything back online. From there on out, the lines were 2 hours plus. Okay. And for me, I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. I can stand in line. I'm watching the little ones. I'm watching the itty bitty ones, and they're miserable. And that is not what Disney is about. God damn it, I'm pissed. I am so angry right now, I could spit nails. So these little kids are forced to stand in these 2 hour lines because the only other option is the lightning lane now, which used to be the fast pass, which was free. Okay, and available for everyone. You could go get a fast pass, you could go then stand in line for another ride, then you come back and hit that one, get another fast pass, go stand in line for a different ride, come back. So everything was flowing, okay? Now they've got it so that the lines are 2 hours long, an hour or more. It was 2 hours on Monday. 2 hours long, little ones, standing in the heat, standing in the sun, and Disney doesn't care. The corporation doesn't care. They don't care. All they care about is the Benjamins. Okay, and that makes me hugely angry because Walt Disney started this amusement park to be a safe alternative, because amusement parks at the time in the 50s were not safe. They were not clean. They were not, and so he wanted a safe place, clean place where families could go and have fun together. So these poor little kids are being forced to stand in these huge lines. It's ridiculous. In order to get a lightning pass, it is $40 per person per day. And they charge extra for the really popular rides. So another $20 for the Rise of the Resistance. So you're paying $60 per person to go ride a ride. No, I just paid you a redonkulous amount of money to come into this park. How about you suck it? I'm so angry. I'm just... So here's the thing. I am listening to people talk. Some people took out loans to go on this family vacation. Some people are taking out loans to take their kids on a once-of-a-lifetime trip to Disneyland. And Disneyland, you are so effing it up, I can't even begin to tell you. Just arrogant behavior on the behalf of the whoever is running Disney. The absolute, what's the word I'm looking for? Disregard and disrespect of the people who love Disney, who've been coming for literally decades with their kids, with their grandkids, with their great-grandkids. And just the greed is just breathtaking. And that's the term I use when I'm talking about narcissists. You know what I'm saying. So, okay, so there was that. Let me get back to what else happened. Okay, so the rudeness. There was just, the cast members were unhappy and they were taking it out on guests. And it wasn't just me. I've seen them do it to other people. They're destroying the brand and the trust, and trust is a hugely important thing. So here's the deal. Throughout our entire trip, the entire 3 days, the rides were going down for hours. Okay, so temporarily closed, temporarily closed, temporarily closed, temporarily closed. Well, the temporarily closed would often be for an hour or more. And that makes me go, what is the maintenance on these rides if they're all going down all the time? What's the maintenance like? Well, then, apparently Monday night, in Cars Land, a car caught on fire with people in it. And they were screaming, let me out, let me out, let me out. And so the cast members finally got them out and everything. It's been closed the entire week. What does that tell you? That tells me it's not safe. That tells me that they're not doing maintenance. The fact that the rides keep going down for hours at a time, that tells me that maintenance is not being done. And that scares the living crap out of me. And do you think I'm going to let one of my nieces or nephews or my great nieces or nephews or my great great nieces or nephews go on one of these rides? Hell no. I don't trust them. They have broken the trust. And once trust has been broken, it is incredibly difficult to get it back. So, okay. So there was that. Let me continue, shall I? Okay, again, we had to make reservations in order to get a sit-down table on May 23rd. Okay, so we were at, May 24th. We were at Ariel's Grotto. No, not Ariel's Grotto. What is it called now? Blah, 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 blah. Can't remember the name. John, do you remember? Oh, the Lamplighter's Lounge. No, that was on the 25th. Sorry. Okay. So on the 25th, we went to the Lamplighter's Lounge. Yes, I wrote this all down because I sent Disney 2 letters because I'm so angry. So on the 25th, we go to the Lamplighter's Lounge. You have to make a reservation in order to get a sit-down meal. You can do the online stuff, ordering, and then go and get it and then find a place to sit and everything. But, we were celebrating John's birthday. Wanted to take him to see the Avengers Campus because I thought it was so cool. Because in August, Andrea and I went. You guys know that Andrea and I go every year, okay? Andrea's my best friend from high school. We go to Disney every year for a girls' week out. We've done this for years. In August, it was fine. They still had the fast passes. They weren't letting in a ridiculous amount of people. The Avengers Campus was so much fun. They had huge shows. So like with the Dora Milaje, they had like 10 people come in and do the show and everything. They had 2. They fired everybody except 2. I'm like, what are you doing? How is this? The thing about Disney is the experience. The thing about Disney is the grandeur and the ability to literally go into another world and just immerse yourself in that world. And they're cutting corners. So, okay, so we go to the Lamplighter Lounge and, we have a reservation just opened. So there's a ton of empty tables. They try to put us at a countertop in the corner again. And I'm like, I'm sorry, can we have a table, please? Please, can we have a table? The woman rolled her eyes at me, gave me a huge huff, like it was a huge problem. And I'm like, you have an empty restaurant. And they were telling people outside, oh, well, we'll see who shows up and who doesn't, and then we'll get you seated. And they didn't have reservations. And I'm sitting here going, with somebody with a reservation, you should be making sure that they're getting a table, right? So she went off, and I was like, John, I swear to God, I don't want to be a Karen, but I'm about to be, because normally I'm like, whatever, I don't care. This is my husband's birthday. This was an expensive trip to Disney that cost literally $1,000+, which I'm just like, it wasn't worth it. And I'll keep explaining why. It's like, come on, Disney. What are you doing? How are you training your cast members? And more importantly, how come you're treating them so poorly that they feel the need to take it out on the guests? Shall we go there? Oh, do let's. So, okay, so there is that. So we did get a table. They finally did put us at a table because I think she realized I wasn't just going to sit there and take it, which to me is bullying, which to me is unacceptable. Unacceptable for Disney. Unacceptable. Okay, so, all right. Radiator Springs, still closed. Okay, talked about that. Nastiness of the cast members. Then we went to the Avenger Campus. And like I said, there was only 2 Dora Milaje, which I'm just like, are you kidding me? They're cutting corners. We were looking forward. John and I are huge Disney fans, huge Marvel fans. In August, there was all sorts of really cool merchandise. There was like the comic book drawings on the t-shirts and on the merchandise and on things, things, Stan Lee, that kind of thing. So I was really looking forward, since it's his birthday, to being like, hey, let's go to the Avengers Campus. We'll get you some, Marvel stuff. This will be really great. We get there, nothing. Like literally no Doctor Strange merchandise. I'm like, did you guys just not release a movie? Hello. No Wanda, Scarlet Witch. No Scarlet Witch merchandise to speak of. I'm like, did she not just release a movie? Hello. Everything was homogenized. Everything was the same no matter where you went. There was nothing unique, nothing different. This is the thing I always loved about Disney in the past, is that they had unique things that you could find nowhere else. There used to be this place called Vault 23 in downtown Disney, and they would sell the coolest stuff that you could not find anywhere else. And it was worth it, and it was great, and I loved it. And I used to love getting the dresses that they would make. Generic, blah, nothing comic booky, nothing to do with any of the movies really, except Spider-Man. They were pushing the Spider-Man stuff a lot, but that was it. And John was like, wow, was it like this when you were here? And I'm like, no. If it was like this when I was here in August, we would be somewhere else for your birthday, to be perfectly honest. So I don't know what they're doing. They're cutting corners in all the wrong places. And I don't understand why, because it's not like Disney is hurting for money, okay? Because the parks were packed, like overly packed. So, okay, there was that. Okay. Okay, here's where it gets really good. So then I was like, okay, all right, lines are still 2 hours long, hour long, plus, we did get into some rides, but here's the thing. With the lines being an hour or 2 hours long, you're able to do, especially if you have a cadre of little ones, you're able to do like maybe 3 rides. Then it's time for lunch, and then your kids are tired and hot and thirsty and everything else. So then we were back at the Avengers campus waiting for the stunt show. So they have a stunt show where they are up where the Quinjet is, and they have like Scarlet or not Scarlet Witch. What am I thinking? Scarlett Johansson, her character. Anyway, they have the different characters, Black Panther, Loki, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they do like a stunt show. So we were up against the railing, out of the way, by a garbage can, watching when a cast member comes over and says, you can't be standing there. And we're nowhere near the action. And I'm like, okay. So I move away and I said, well, where can we stand? And then she's like, oh, no, it's okay. And then by the time she said that, somebody swooped in and took the place. And I'm sitting here going, really, Disney? Really? What the Okay, we never did see the stunt show because then we asked a cast member, a different one. Then we asked a different cast member, when is the stunt shows? Because they're not in the app. They don't tell you when they're going to happen. Oh, well, they just happen throughout the day. We don't really, tell you when it is. And I'm like, okay, that's incredibly not helpful. Can you give us a clue? Oh, well, they end at 4:30. Okay, well, that's nice. I've got other things to do. Thank you. Wow. Wow, Disney. Wow. Rude. Frickin' rude. So, okay, we never did see the stunt show. So John never got to see the stunt show. We didn't get any merchandise. People were rude. Cast members were rude. The lines were 2 hours plus. Cars Land still closed. Well, not the whole land, but the Radiator Springs still closed. There was that. And then, here was the piece de resistance. So I was basically in tears, which I'm going to be again, because this was John's birthday, and I wanted to make it special for him. And Disney ruined it. Disney absolutely, with their attitude and the long lines and the lightning lane and trying to force people to buy that stuff. They took the magic right out of it. And you know me, I love Disney. I have loved Disney my entire life. So then we decide, okay, we're going to go, walk around, do this, do whatever. So we got in a few rides, and then I was like, oh, let's go watch the Doctor Strange show. So we got in line, and this was on Thursday, the 26th, yeah. Thursday the 26th, we got in line for the 6:50 showing of the Doctor Strange show. Okay, so we stood there for like 45 minutes waiting, right? Because everything is a freaking wait. So we finally get in, and I'm like, great! And so we're seated, and we're waiting, and the show starts, and Doctor Strange's mic is not working. So then they stop the show. Sorry, guys. We have to stop. Can't continue. Come back and catch us on the next show. At that point, I was ready to head over to guest member services and demand my money back. I really was. I just had it. That was the last straw. That was truly the last straw. Instead of continuing the show or guaranteeing that the people could then, come back and get a spot. No, come back and wait in line. So we did. We waited in line another 45 minutes because this was our last day. Yesterday was our last day at Disney. So we saw the show, finally got to see it. It was cute. It was, it was the whole thing. But honestly, would I come back to Disney the way they're doing it now? No. Nope. Would I encourage my nieces, nephews, great nieces, great nephews? Nope. I don't think it's safe. I don't. I think that with all of the rides breaking down all the time for hours at a time, what's going on with the maintenance? That's my first question. Secondly, the cast members are obviously not happy. They're obviously not being compensated, and they're obviously not being treated well because they're taking it out on the guests. That's not okay. That's not okay. Now, I can afford to do a Disney vacation, okay? Because I work my ass off. But here's the thing that pisses the hell right out of me. Some of these families are taking out loans to do this. They've got little ones standing for hours because they can't afford to do the lightning passes. How bougie is that? You know what I'm saying? This is not the Disney I knew. This is not the Disney I loved. This is not what Walt Disney had intended. He intended to have safe, clean parks for families to come and enjoy their day together. This is pure greed. Do not go to Disney. Do not waste your time. What you're going to end up doing, because for me, it's like I'm so easygoing. I don't care about standing in line. It's just me, right? But it was so ridiculously long. Even I was like, oh my God, 2 hours? No. Come on. Come on. So avoid Disney at all costs. Avoid it. Avoid, avoid, avoid. Do not go. It's not fun. It's hot. It's tiring for the little ones. It's an act of frustration for the adults. The cast members are freaking rude, telling you to go to Knott's and then saying, oh, move. Oh, no, wait, no, you can be here, but then my spot gets taken. Thanks. You know, it's just, I've had it. I'm not coming back ever, unless they get rid of this lightning lane pass bullshit and unless they do something else, because this is ridiculous and this is not fair to families that don't have a whole hell of a lot of money. So don't go to Disney. Don't do it. You're going to be pissed. Don't do it. Just don't. And I can't tell you how many people are echoing the same things I am saying. So I went on to the Main Street Mouse and they had a whole article about what I just talked about. So yeah, don't go to Disney. It's not worth it. And honestly, if you love Disney, I would seriously write them letters and let them know this is not okay. And I have. I've sent one to guest services and I sent one to the Main Street Mouse and I'm doing this video. So, hey, Disney, wake up. This is not okay. All right, guys, hopefully my next video will be a little bit more fun since this is called We Need to Have Fun with Chris Godinez. This was We Are Tortured by Disney with Chris Godinez. So the next video I'm going to do, honestly, I'm going to do one on how to pack for Alaska in the wintertime because I really enjoyed that trip. So I will show you how to pack because I think it's important because I don't think a lot of people know how to pack for kind of weather like that, especially me because I'm like total California girl. So anyway, again, thank you for letting me vent my spleen. Avoid Disney at all costs. All right, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.